We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig. You decide when you lose, not other people. And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollers.locals.com. Happy Friday to you, man. The struggle bus is taking off. Here we are. Hi, everybody. I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome, 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 friends. We are ready to rock today. As listen, I'm not gonna lie, right? We're all a little tired. We're all a little tired. It's Friday. We're gonna power on through, aren't we, Blabs?
We are, and I want to point out, we are on the struggle bus, not the short bus.
No, yes, correct. The struggling short bus. There it is right there.
The struggling long bus, okay? We're not on the short bus.
Choo-choo. Let's go. All right. Speaking of the short bus, joining us today, all the way from the other side of the world, it's Disparu. How are you?
Yes, it must be great to have some actual diversity on the show for a change instead of Americans.
Oh,
one of my favorite things, Americans always like, no, we got such a diverse panel. I'm like, you're all from the same country. It's like, what is this?
It's not. Listen, there's one thing we believe in. It's a diverse panel here on Side Scrollers.
I'm the diversity hire. I am female.
That's right. Way to go, Blabs. Very intelligent conversation on a day-to-day.
I told you it was the struggle bus.
If it's just like, wait, what? After all this time, now you announce it?
Maybe every day we should start by letting everybody know I'm a male. My name is Craig. What are you, Bob?
You know, like that 80s workout thing of the kids. It's like, my name's Patrice, and they all do this little dance when they walk in. Has anyone seen that? Anyway, that's what it reminds me of. I should get a sticker that says like DEI hire, like a little name tag.
I do like the idea though in corporate environments that they start every meeting by going around and all have to announce.
Dude, I had that.
That is amazing to me.
I had that at my last job. They're like, all right, let's all go around the room and talk about what our favorite song is. I'm like, why the fuck are we doing this? Why? Let's just get to the point. I want to go home. My shift is over. I'm here overtime.
Hold on. Wait, hold on a second. Wait. Was this one of those things where you're like, my name is Blabs. I'm a white woman wearing a
No, because we knew each other already. We were all like known each other for over a year plus, and we're just sitting there like having a meeting about what's coming up and everything. And I'm like, I don't need to tell you my favorite song. I hate all of you. I don't care what song you.
I hope that wasn't your introduction.
I just said The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. I panicked. I was like, that's one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
No, say something creepy like I like to rewind.
You smell
Beatles
different when you're awake.
Look for demonic words or something. That's really like, wait, what?
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, we're off to a great start. I would like to remind you guys to follow us over at rumble.com/sidescrollers if you haven't already. Find us over there. We like Rumble because, free speech and stuff. We also like Rumble because...
It grows organically.
That's right.
I think I'm just going to go crazy today. It's fine.
Good. Hey, ride it out. We get your energy all the way out through the next 90 minutes, Blabs. And then
pass out.
It's like the fireworks fuse. Just goes out. Anyways,
there's a chart that shows like the amount of time you've been awake compared to how many pints of beer that somebody's drunk. And it just goes up. It's exactly the same impact. So
I'm not going to lie. I haven't had a drink in a while, but today sounded pretty good.
What do you like to drink? Do you like a beer or a whiskey or something?
So that's a good question. I prefer whiskey. I like rum. I don't like beer. Beer is not good to me at all. I have never been a beer guy. It just doesn't taste good. Doesn't smell good. I don't like that earthy smell he doesn't
like the outdoors. The earthy smell? Hell no.
What about you, Disbrew? What do you drink?
Whiskey.
Milk.
I used to, when I was younger, be on cider. Again, was never much for beer myself. But as I aged, the side effects got worse and worse. And I was just like, whiskey is far better.
Yeah, I also like vodka. Vodka clear. I never feel bad after drinking vodka. What about you, Blabs? Do you drink?
So in college, not anymore.
I'll do me for the rest of the life.
Yeah, I
fit it
had
all
enough
in.
for a lifetime. But I will occasionally have I really love Fireball. I can just down that like nothing. I drink a lot of like Italian liquors. So
That's because
yeah.
you drink Fireball because you're young. That's why, because you can handle that now.
Dude, when I
Flaming
was like
Sambuca is
20,
like-
I could down like a whole bottle with me and one other person. Gone. No
Mhm.
problem. It's great. But yeah, I don't like beer. No, I can't. I was like trying beer when I was younger. You have a sip from your parents or whatever. I could never get into it. And then in college, when I had to play like that beer pong game, oh my God, I died. I couldn't handle it. Like the smell of it, the taste of it. I was like, oh, I was like, somebody has to drink for me because I'm going to throw up. It was that. I can't drink beer.
I was expecting it to come out with like wine or some kind of cocktail. Like,
I do
not
love wine.
Fireball.
I like my favorite wine is ice wine, which is when the grapes are harvested at like 4 a.m. when it's like just freezing temperature, which I've done that before. It's crazy. You get up at 4 a.m.
I don't see how that would affect the
super
taste.
sweet. It's amazing. It affects the taste and everything because they're like kind of frozen and stuff. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, then when they're plucked, not after they've been squashed and fermented.
I love ice wine, man. Have you ever had it?
I don't even. The closest thing to ice wine
No,
I've ever had is
wine
a
with ice in.
yeah. Like is this wine is a box wine with ice?
No,
in it.
it's literally a type of wine called ice wine, and it's sold in a very sleek, like slender bottle. Very expensive because it's so much work to get it. And it's like
It sounds like it's upsold for gullible people. I gotta be like this. These grapes are picked at like 4 a.m. in the morning.
no, but they
and
actually
that
are.
affects the taste.
That's how they make them. You know that what's his face's name? Wayne Gretzky, the hockey player. He created a winery and everything. He does that there
I'm sure.
Hey.
in
Yeah.
Ontario. In
I'd
Canada.
do it too. I'll be like this. It's been plucked over.
It's
a
really
certain sort
good.
of
I've
rare
like,
metal.
most people have tried it. Love it. It is very sweet. Yes, Chad says it's sweet. Yes, it's very
That's
sweet.
nicer
wine.
than
It's really
wondering.
good for like ice cream and stuff like that, or like some type of cheeses.
Wait, what? Hold on.
You can
stop.
pour ice wine on your ice cream because usually you have
Just
your
because
ice
you
wine
can doesn't mean you
refrigerated.
should.
But it's
Right.
really good. Listen, you guys are just dunking on my culture. That's on your loss, bruv.
What kind of alcohol are
I'm glad you
you?
didn't say your culture.
Cultural knowledge.
What kind of alcoholic are you where you need to put wine on your ice
Yeah.
cream?
The good kind.
It's just like you have a roasted and just pouring wine on it. Like, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, you don't
Gravy.
get listen. The only way you can really get drunk on ice wine is if you like have a whole lot of it, which I don't do. I have it in small doses, but yeah, it's really good.
For someone
All
that
right.
only drank in college, you are incredibly enthusiastic about alcohol.
Yes. Well, if you knew my background, you'd know why.
All right. Big in Guam. Tell you what.
Mm.
You can also watch the show over on X at Side Scroller Pod. And you could have found out that Disbrew was going to be on the show if you just followed us over there. So make sure you guys follow us over there, and you can also get clips and stuff like that. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do suppose some music clips of the show. Otherwise, no ice wine for you.
Oh man, the worst.
You really got me.
worst
All right,
punishment.
listen. Next time I go see Craig, I'm actually going to bring you a bottle of ice wine. Then I will see if I can smuggle it on
Probably
an
have it in
airplane.
Guess who won't be drinking it?
No, you will try it. You will actually like it, or at least your
Um,
wife will love it. So you're
Sounds
welcome.
good. And that's the most important thing. You can also listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify. If you guys do that, make sure you guys give us a high rating, like 5 stars, and give us a nice review. We'd really appreciate that. You can also find the show over at Locals. We love our Locals community over there at sidescrollers.locals.com. We also love our YouTube community. If you are new to the show, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Join the 84,600 just normal men, common sense lovers of video games in the entertainment space. Also, let's hit the 900 likes today. If you wouldn't mind scrolling your little mouse over to that, hitting your thumb over on that thumb up, we really appreciate that. And let's do our best to get to 25 memberships. But yes, as we know, it is Pride Month, and Blabs, I would be remiss if I didn't let everybody know about our Pride merchandise this month. Disbrew, I know you're going to love this, straight from the other side of the pond. America, right there. Go pick up your shirt, your American Pride shirt right now in the description. You can pick it up, and pretty much, I think we're gonna keep it on sale till July 4th, maybe July 5th. I don't know, but make sure you guys go pick it up right now. You can also go pick up my daughter's shirt. She made this. Let us skateboard. Every shirt sold, she gets a piece of the pie. So make sure you guys go pick it up, and she's loving it. Like Subarashi went in and picked up the Let Us Skateboard t-shirt and the American Pride t-shirt. It says, had to grab Let Us Skateboard and American Pride shirt to start off this weekend right. Can't wait to watch Craig's epic Elden Ring gameplay. Come on, Craig. You don't want to be maidenless, do you? Love to y'all and the normal men. Well, to be clear,
Craig has no bitches. Yeah, he doesn't. This joke went right over his head. You in the game, you're maidenless.
Yeah.
So you have no bitches in Elden Ring.
And she keeps talking to you about fingers as well. It's a really weird game.
I haven't committed to Elden Ring yet, but I think that's where I'm leaning. So
you
Oh
want
yeah,
some
it'll be
bitches,
massive when the
gotcha.
expansion comes out.
yeah, so maybe I should do Elden Ring, huh?
There's
For
a
the
lot
first
of
time.
people are either restarting or like finishing their old gameplay and stuff in preparation, as you have to have defeated a certain number of bosses to play the expansion. So
Yeah.
I swore I thought Millennium Lonnie, whatever her name was, the final boss. But turns out I've been
No.
wrong this entire time. I had
she's
no
optional.
idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
like,
So.
very easy to go through the entire game and never see her. She's not on the main path.
Have you beaten it, Disparu?
No, I think I got to the main capital city. So I would have been like 2 years ago when I played. So I'm probably gonna have to restart, as I have no idea what I'm doing in the game anymore. So
Right. And I think that's my thing when it comes to like most games that I have to beat. Oh my gosh, just looking at howlongtobeat.com, 60 hours.
A lot of play streams.
I don't know, because I have been watching Tim the Tatman stream it, and I think he's up to about 15. And just because he was pushing all the main bosses, it's more difficult because he's under-leveled, but you can do it faster. The 60 hours and stuff is if you explore a lot more and things, or don't follow guides.
Well, so okay, that's the thing is I don't follow guides generally. I just follow the chat, and the chat is
Oh well, yeah, he has the chat as well, but I think one of the chat made like a cheat sheet for him that just took him through all the main bosses directly. So you can rush it. It's just more difficult.
I'm not sure because I don't stream enough. I don't stream gameplay enough to like this would take me legit if it's a 60-hour game.
Even rushing, yeah, you'd probably be looking at like 20 at least, 20, 30.
Yeah. I mean, but with our chat and the things that would happen to me, right? I mean, I'm looking at finishing this sometime next summer. Like, so we'll see. Either way, excited to. I'm definitely considering it right now, but I think it'd be really, really fun. All right, there we go. Blabs, give us a rundown of today in gaming history, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so today, June 14th, we actually have a special number 4, and I'll get to that one in a second. But Donkey Kong is 30 years old today, releasing back in 1994. You have Dracula the Resurrection, releasing back in 2000, and Dead by Daylight, releasing back in 2016, which time flies for that video game. But I have to give the notable 4th, which is Tetris. Tetris is 35 years old today, releasing on the Game Boy in Japan in 1989.
Good stuff.
Mhm.
Let's be clear about Donkey Kong though. That's the Game Boy version of Donkey Kong. Yes.
That's what I had, the old black and white version.
Game Boy.
There you go. Yeah. Want to be clear. So, yeah, it's a good list right there. Not bad at all. All right, cool. Another quick reminder that Today in Gaming History is brought to you by our friends over at Zydax PCs. If you guys are in the market for a PC, once again, consider checking them out. They are all made in America with American customer support. They support us, so please support them. Once again, if you're in the market, check out Zydax PCs. Their link is in the description down below. Good stuff. All right, we got a lot to talk about. In addition to Zydax supporting us, you guys support us, including Autistic Accountant, who says, "Good morning, ladies and gents. Blabs is an innocent little BB who doesn't have to show off her feet." Okay, unless you, Alex. All right. Autistic Accountant also came and says, to answer Lady Gravemaster's question, iron sights all the way. And he followed up one more time. Says, next time you have BX on, I'd like to join. I was part of the USMC Intel community. I know a lot about some this vault, you burrito chompers. Oh, no, not a burrito chomper, the worst kind of chomper. Thank you so much for your support, Autistic Account. Appreciate it. Cajun Corey came in with a 5, says, happy Friday. Just remember, we're just normal men. And normal men love boobs. Listen, if there's one thing that we know, it's that normal men do, in fact, love boobs. Crazy D came in and said,
there was that article that said the more you stare at them, the longer you live. that goes around Twitter every few months.
Because it's calming. Stress
you know
relief.
what? This is calming. Check it out, because Speedy Cake's going to give us some boobs here. It says, with the $50 Australian, says, hey, Craig, I realized today that you are capable of the best American cosplay ever. All you need to do is shave the beard until the mustache is left, slap some sunnies on, and swap the letter of the hat to a C. And it looks like you're Burt Gummer from Trimmers. All right. Maybe I'll let me see what Burt Gummers looks like, and I'll be able to. There we go. Hold on. Speedy Cakes, thank you so much for providing this Peru some extra life.
It doesn't look like
just smiling.
It doesn't. Well, it's like doesn't look like a Bert to me. That was the whole thing. Let me see what Bert looks like. Oh, here he is.
There we go. Love that. You know what? And I got to be honest, I do feel like, I don't know. Do I look like this guy? This is actually a really, really important question. Would I look like this guy if I was to shave my, I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Just a normal man right there.
Look, your new Halloween costume. You're already set. Look at that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think if anything, it'd be your dad. Because he's like, well, I could see a similarity, but it's not you, kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I look that old yet, right? Do I?
No, there's definitely an age difference.
Okay.
Obviously, there's an age difference. I'm saying you could be him.
All right, maybe we got Halloween.
Amazing.
Maybe we got Halloween scored away. All right, let's go. Crazy T came in, says happy Friday, normal man. Thank you so much, Crazy T. Appreciate your support. Also, Tech Support Gaming says Disbrew and Little Platoon reviews have become my default method for consuming woke Doctor Who and Star Wars. Thank you for your sacrifice. P.S. Finally bought my American Pride shirt. Let's go, Tech Support Gaming. Thank you very much for your support. Have you seen a lot of that, Disbrew, where people have you're their trusted source when it comes to this media?
I think my videos are good if you don't watch the show, because I go through everything. And so there's a lot of people like, I don't watch it, I just watch your stuff, but they still know all of the scenes, what everything's said and everything. So it's not like a 5-minute summary of a 40-minute episode kind of thing. So it kind of works. So yeah, I do get a lot of, I only watch this through you, which I kind of think is the point. My entire thing has been, I find it funny. I find this stuff funnier if I take the piss out of it. And it's like, the only thing it's worthwhile for now is if you make your own entertainment out of it, because you're never going to get any of its own. So I kind of think you have to. And I think it plays into sort of the British sense of humor. We like laughing at something that's already on fire. That's like I think it probably comes, if you've lost the empire, it was the only way of coping. So it just became part of the culture to do so. So rolled hat at stuff like this.
If that's the case, we should be huge over in the UK, because that's all we do is laugh at stupid things that are on fire. Neon Suspenders came in with the 5, says, got my cup of liberty for Super Earth. Hey, thanks so much, Neon Suspenders. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Zamazi came in, says, brochachos are now $5.95 a piece and way smaller than they used to be. they were once much cheaper. Thanks, Zamazi. There's only one brochacho on the show, and that's Blabs. That's right. Hell came in and says, what are ESG Blabs and Stuttering the Diversity Craig doing to combat the climate of microclimate damage in the workplace? You are ignoring the damage pop culture has done on non-binary dolphins. These are all wonderful questions, which we look forward to having in the next meeting. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to have this meeting right now. Blabs, would you please tell me your favorite song as well as identify yourself?
Well, it still is June, so I am still a pine/cone, right? I really like The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Bow down. Thank you.
And that's what we've done, Hell. Congratulations. We just solved diversity. That's
for
good.
The non-binary dolphins.
Mr. Big says, only alcoholic drink I had was warm sake at a local Japanese restaurant. Ooh, not a good starter. Just gonna say, I think that's like kind of a harder
That's
drink.
a warm what is that?
Sake? You never had sake before?
Oh yeah, the Japanese one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
The
I don't
rice
like
wine?
it. Yeah.
Me neither. Yeah, your
I think
thoughts
it's more
on
like anything. You have to drink enough of it to like it. It was the same with whiskey. No one likes beer when they try it.
You know,
No,
it's
there's some people are like, yeah, the
sweet.
beer.
Yeah,
Well,
no, but they had to drink. I guarantee you, their first mouthful, they didn't like it.
No.
Anything's like an acquired taste.
The first mouthful, they didn't like it. That's interesting. Thank you. All right. Placebo Shotgun says, for me, Elden Ring was 120 plus hours to beat everything.
Yeah, but it's a massive game. There's huge areas of the map you never need to go into, but you can. Like, a lot of the fun is in the exploration rather than just doing bosses.
Cowboy says, you haven't seen Tremors? That means you don't know the true legend that is Burt Gummer. Well, maybe I'll watch Tremors one day on over on Locals. I think that'd be fun to do. Thanks, Cobwebs. And Fully Problematic says, happy Friday. Y'all ever play Metal Warriors on the SNES 16-bit Titanfall goodness? Yes, I have. That game is spectacular. Metal Warriors is that's exactly a great way to describe it. You are in giant mechs. You're a tiny man in a giant mech. Very, very cool with really good music, by the way, back in the day. JM says, advice for Elden Ring, try finger butthole.
Yeah. There's a communication system where you can talk to other players, but you've only got a limited amount of things that you can choose. So people then obviously found those combinations.
Of course. And Jonathan came in and picked up the Let Us Skateboard and the American Pride shirts. Says, love the show, love the shirts. What more can a guy ask for? Jonathan, nothing. You can ask for nothing. All we do is deliver greatness on the show. Insane. And good t-shirts. All right, let's get into it. Friends, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. All right, it is Friday, and we got some serious news to get to, friends. Non-stop news today. I'll tell you what, we've talked a lot about video game journalism here on the channel. It's been a reoccurring theme with the Alyssa Mercante and Kotaku and Polygon and Jason Schreier and blah, 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 right? And there was an instance of journalism that I saw on ESPN the other day that I wanted to highlight. And I thought this would be, I wanted to highlight this mainly because I feel like this is what's missing in video game journalism. Now, this is from ESPN, and a little bit of background here. I don't know if you follow basketball specifically.
No.
Okay.
No one in the world follows basketball except Americans.
America. Okay. Well, so let me give you a little background. The Dallas Mavericks, my hometown team, are in the NBA Finals. Okay, it's the finals of the top league here, and they just lost to the Boston Celtics, and they're down 3-0. You have to win 4 games. So if they lose another game, they're done. Their star player Luka Doncic fouls out in the game, and he is notorious for complaining to the refs and yelling at the refs. Okay, so Blabs, are you familiar with Luka Doncic? No? Okay. So what's most important here is what this guy, Brian Windhorst, is going to say. Because and when you watch this, I want you to think about if this would ever be said by a traditional media person in the video game space in particular. Okay? Because video game journalism is all about access. And I don't know if anything like this would ever be said in the video game space, because for fear of removing access. Here we go.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, you better bleeping challenge it, as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable, and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer, somebody will get to him because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
So he unloads on what some consider like the best player in the league, and some say the best player in the world, right? And I just shift that context to the gaming space, where this is the guy who works for the biggest outlet, who has probably the most to lose from an access perspective of access to these players. And he just unloaded on this, on the biggest outlet. And this is tens of millions of views online. And this has certainly gotten back to the Mavericks and the NBA and Luka Doncic and stuff. But it was like almost like a breath of fresh air to kind of watch this. And this is where I bring it back to like the video game world. Kotaku would never do this. IGN would never do this about Activision. They never say this about pick any video game company. They would never ever go in on something like this for fear of losing access. And I don't know. I mean, do you think I'm overthinking this? But that's the first thing I thought when I saw that.
I'm not sure it's apples to apples, because he's not having to go at the team. He's having to go at the player on the team. And so you don't know what that ref, or the manager or whatever it is, the coach, thinks of that. He may well agree with that guy. And so it's like, you're not going to go at the team. You're having to go at this guy who I think is a problem. And now you've announced it to all the players who are going to start like blaming this guy as well, because even if they weren't before, it's put the idea in their head. So if it's correct, they'll kind of agree. So you might actually be helping the team if you're pointing out that this guy is deliberately causing you to lose. And the coach could be like, well, he's the biggest player in the world. I can't have a go at him because he might leave. And we need him. So you could actually be helping them doing it by proxy, where you get the result you want, but you're not to blame for it. So this, I think, would be more like if you were attacking a specific dev or like a moderator that was like in Helldivers 2 that's damaging your reputation. It's probably a bit more apples to apples. But the interesting thing is, you see that whole access stuff play out in the tech space on YouTube all the time. There's been several companies, big major companies, which have tried to be like, well, we'll only give you a review unit if you give us a positive review. And immediately all the tech YouTubers get together like, we're not reviewing your products anymore. And then they back down, and then it goes everywhere together. And the game journalists could do that, but they're all so scared, and they're also willing to do it, that I'm kind of in a position now where I'm like, well, this is your fault. You're the ones that aren't willing to stand up. You're the ones that won't get together and do anything. You're the ones that are willing to sell yourself down this road. So even if someone is pressuring you, you're still voluntarily doing it, and that's it's you to blame. You could at any point go out and do this on your own. You choose not to. And so even if you take the argument that they're just pressurized, I'm at a point I don't really care. You're responsible for your own actions. And I think people on YouTube, like, Nerdrotic's career is not damaged by Disney not liking him. You know what I mean? Right. So we're in a different area now than when we used to be with magazines and that kind of stuff. If anything, I think getting early access to games and stuff is more a crutch. That the only reason people watch your stuff is because you're first, which I don't think is ever. You want to be best, you don't want to be first.
What a great, man, that's a great saying right there. And as pointed out, I mean, you, Aaron here says, same applies to entertainment journalism. They would never criticize Disney, right.
The interesting ones are when they do. When Echo came out, it was safe to be like, well, no, was it Echo? No, it was, there was what, what's the spider one? Madam Web. That was safe because it was made by Sony. And so all of them came out and said, this is trash. And they absolutely destroyed it. But then along comes like Doctor Who, along comes The Acolyte, because it's made by Disney, because they're all on board all of a sudden. You can literally see that they're scared of the company by the ones they're willing to criticize when they're all of the same quality.
It's an interesting conversation for sure. Like I said, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in the gaming space, be like, more than anything, we're critical of the journalist. Like there's a giant divide in the gaming space between traditional access media, your Kotakus, IGNs, whatever, and then everybody on YouTube, right? And everybody on YouTube continues to grow. Everybody in access media continues to flounder. And that's, I think a lot of that goes back to what you said. And then I guess he didn't really say this, but it's more of an extension of what you said, the authenticity. You said you want to be best, right? And People want to hear your voice in particular. There's a reason why people go to you to see your review of Acolyte or Madam Web or whatever it may be, because they want to hear your perspective on it. So
you've
anyways,
also got massive conflict of interest. Like on YouTube, no one's being sponsored by Disney, so they can say whatever they want. But on these games websites, they may have Google Ads and stuff, but they also sell ad space directly to companies. So if you're selling ad space to like Activision or whoever, you can't criticize their game when they're paying to put the sponsorship on the page where you're criticizing them. That'd be insane. Right. And so again, in the tech space, a lot of the time they won't. They have to be careful about this stuff, because the moment anyone doesn't trust them, well, you're spending like $2,000 on a laptop. You need to have trust in these people that they're going to be honest with you. I think, it's not monetary the same, but wasting 2 hours of your time or whatever and $40, $50 at the cinema is still like a big investment. And so I think authenticity and selling your soul down the river, that kind of stuff, it kills your career, as it has done to Kotaku.
Right. For sure. Well, anyways, just wanted to open it up with that. I thought that was interesting, and it has happened a couple days ago. Anyways, I'll be watching the game tonight to see what happens. With the Mavericks, they'll probably lose, but whatever. It is what it is. Good run. Okay, man, you want to talk about something that is selling a brand, Louis Vuitton. Labs, are you a Louis Vuitton connoisseur?
I mean, not really. I obviously know what it is. It's a brand, a clothing designer, and all that stuff. I think I have something. Maybe a bag.
I think it's for colorblind people. Like, I'm colorblind, and I think it looks awful.
All right. Well, you're colorblind?
Yeah.
Out of 2 years, I'm just finding this out now? Okay. Carry on.
It's not really something that impacts your life very often.
No, I just would have known that one, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. This is interesting. So there is a Louis Vuitton chocolate spread. They're being more diverse in their product line now. This was just released. Now it's $32 for this chocolate spread. It's only available in Paris and Singapore, Louis Vuitton stores, right? And they're selling this chocolate spread. But hey, man, Louis Vuitton and it's chocolate. So it's currently reselling for $500. $500 for chocolate.
I could fly to Paris and buy it for cheaper than that.
You should do it and then sell it on eBay and make lots of money.
I was gonna say, I think you're missing out on a huge
the scalper.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen. Maybe Apple, a brand that is so seen as high end or this that you're buying the brand more than anything. Then we're talking about chocolate sauce. We're talking about chocolate here, of all things. It's probably not even good chocolate.
I think it probably would be. I mean, if it wasn't, I think you'd hear a lot about it from people who are spending a shit ton of money on it, and it's actually bad. I don't know. I would hope it's good.
The issue is with them, like, luxury brands can only charge that price because they're perceived to be luxury. So you've got like the Birkin bags and stuff, where essentially they put into policies, which means just poor people can't buy this, because if poor people are seen walking around with it, you will devalue the brand, and then they can't sell it.
Yeah, they burn it.
So yeah. And so I'm not really sure that spelling chocolate spread is, even if you sell it at $32, is going to give you that luxury brand. I don't think it's helping.
Yeah, Burberry, whenever they can't sell stuff, they won't put it on clearance anymore. They actually burn their stuff.
Burberry isn't considered luxury of it, but for the same reason.
Well, I mean, it was considered high up there at one point.
Well, it's not here. Chavs over here used to be the Chav brand, which Esche would essentially be the term that you would be the term that you'd know. But yeah, it was typically sort of working class teenagers that hung around street corners and stuff back in the day would wear Burberry all the time. It was never deemed luxury.
I mean, sort of, it kind of, not like, obviously not like Armani and all those other things, but it was well known. I think it'd be like a step above like Ralph Lauren and all that stuff. But yeah, it was mostly like teens and young adults. I like the perfume; it's not bad, but I'm also not spending $60 for a name. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are. Some people are spending $500 for chocolate
Crazy.
in the name, which is
This I have to share this. So obviously you guys know Universal Studios has a new theme park opening up and within the next couple months, early 2025, I think it is. So they're starting to do previews and they're showing off some of the merch that you can buy, and you'll be able to buy that merch when the preview store opens up in Florida in a couple months. So some people already got their hands on some of this merch and they're flipping it and selling it for like $70 to $80 on eBay, when originally it's like a pin, it costs like $10 to $16, and people are actually buying it for like $80 something. I'm like, guys, just wait 3 months and you can buy it for like $16. Like, it's amazing what these scalpers are doing. Like, hey man, good for them, they're making a shit ton of money, why not? But like the people buying it, like, you're stupid. Anyway, at the end,
Drunk 3PO was said before, like, because these places sell exclusive merch like all year round, people will just go in and resell it on eBay all the time. He says, well, I live down the road. It's like, do that then. Like, I don't know why that's not part of your strategy as you go all the time.
But,
yeah.
right.
Dude, and they make crazy amount of money because some of this stuff will not be sold like online, and you have to specifically request for it on Universal. Like, you have to call them and be like, I want this item, and then you can get it, right? People don't know that, but you can actually buy it like over the phone. But if it's not online, they don't think you can get it, and they think it's exclusive in parks. And it's like, bro, you can actually save a shit ton of money just by picking up the phone and calling.
Well, it's like anything. Exclusivity is what provides value. If something's everywhere, it's worthless. And so one of the ways you can do it is by making false exclusivity, where you could supply it to everyone, but you choose not to, and then other people, you essentially create the demand for your own products. I don't know whether they do it deliberately. I assume so, that all the rest of the country think this stuff's really valuable, so when they actually go down, like, this is a bargain. It's probably what it is. But luxury brands do the same thing.
For sure. Scarcity creates that giant markup right here. As Peter comes and says, I bet you $5 that Nutella tastes better than that chocolate spread. Man, Nutella's so good. Let's go. Let's go. Man, Nutella and bananas, I'm all about that. Peter says, to me, early reviews and access are a sign that the critic is compromised. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. Demi Supremi says, I prefer calling them journalists. Journalists don't fear telling stories people might agree with or forming their own opinions. I'd argue you're a better journalist than ignorance. Oh, listen, I am no journalist, but I am the best journalist in all of video games. It's crazy. Miku says, I'm watching Short Fat Otaku's Chiga vid.
Is it supposed to be Giga?
No. If it's about the recent controversy, the woman in the apron, then you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Shoe shows blabs. Okay, thank you very much.
Show
Miku.
shoes. Why would I want to show you my shoes?
Shoe shows.
Because under the shoes are feet.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I think I'm dyslexic. I really do. I think at some point, like I totally got these words mixed up right now. I got shoe shows blabs. How did I get that? Like right now, just right now, I'm pretty sure I just realized that I'm, even after having such a hard time, I'm 42 years old. And I think I just realized I'm dyslexic.
Well,
As you guys all.
If you ever look into the ability to read, it is bizarre. You don't read how you think you do at all. You only look at the bottom half of the letter, and you consume everything together, which is why if you as long as you keep the first letter and the last letter the same, you can read anything, even if you jumble up the letters. It looks like gobbledygook, you read it perfectly. The brain is weird.
I've also been saying that Craig's dyslexic for like, 2 years now, so I'm not really sure why you just had an
It doesn't listen to you.
This is also true. I'm just a female. I'm just a DEI female hire. I count for nothing.
Blabs, it's like it's almost like an alcoholic, right? Like, you have a problem. The alcoholic's got to realize that they have a problem. That's the thing. By the way, we didn't get Speedy Cake on the wall, and we need to get Speedy Cake on the wall. Speedy Cake, I'm sorry, we did see the assets that came along with your $50 super chat.
There was 4 of them.
Yeah, but
yes, there was. All right, so there you go. Look at that. I'll get you on the wall there, Speedy Cake, in just a second.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to a story we had a couple days ago about the popular YouTuber Comicstorian. It kind of came out of nowhere. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday that his wife posted on X that he had passed away. He was a 40-year-old guy, very popular channel, 3 million subscribers to his channel, grown very quickly. and nobody knew why he died. It was just kind of an accident. Well, we now know how he died, and it truly does seem like an accident. As we go over to the Denver Post, says popular YouTuber Ben Potter, who brought comic books to life in audio dramas on his channel, was killed in a single vehicle crash. Potter was driving southbound on I-25 when his silver Toyota 4Runner drove off the right shoulder across the frontage road and rolled several times across the Colorado State Patrol. He died at the scene. Potter was wearing a seatbelt and was the only person in the vehicle. They said that no other vehicles were involved in the crash. Investigators do not believe drugs, alcohol, or excessive speeds were factors in the crash. I don't want to speculate at all, but I'll tell you this. We work online on a day-to-day basis, and being connected is something that's very important, right? Being connected to your channel, being connected to what's happening on social media, these are all specifically for this show. These are important things. But you wonder if maybe he was potentially looking down at his phone, or maybe looking at his phone, because if there was no drugs, no alcohol, and no speed associated with it, and he was wearing a seatbelt, and he just drove off the right shoulder and crossed the frontage road.
There's plenty of other things it could be.
Yeah.
Like, we work all kinds of weird hours. My sleeping pattern's all over the place. It could be anything, be from tired, or it could have been a different, like, medical condition that whatever took effect and distract you, whatever.
Yeah.
It is one of those situations where there's probably a whole host of things that could have been there, but
An animal, a tire, something, some type of mechanical failure in the car.
Yeah, I mean, that's all true, all true. I don't know. That's the first place that my mind thought was maybe he was looking at his phone. It was at 9 o'clock, 9:20 in the morning. And, like I said, don't want to speculate, but that's just where my mind went first. First with that was, and you guys are definitely right. There's so many variables that we don't know when it comes to this. So yeah.
Falling asleep. Yeah. Chat says a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where, unless there's like an autopsy report and stuff to see, because just because it's like, well, they didn't do anything to themselves that caused it. It's like, yeah, but you don't know if there's any other sort of underlying conditions or whatever. True.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about him at all outside of his untimely death. So, anyways, it's sad. Obviously, never want to see anybody pass on. But obviously from an accident. But with that said, just be careful out there, man. Everybody, you normal men. All right, let's go to another story.
About that is
go
I've
ahead,
seen
Prue.
this happened to a couple of YouTubers on both times now. A member of the family has come on their socials and been like, "We're sorry, this has happened to them," and I always thought that's quite rare. It does make you think, because there are some channels that just go dark and you never hear from them ever again, and you was like, "What happened?" So I don't know whether these people have set up something like a system where, if anything happens, you let the people know because there's 3 million of them, kind of thing.
Right.
And so it almost becomes important that you didn't just vanish off the face of the earth. But yeah, I'm surprised we found out anything about it, really.
This reminds me of the YouTuber Samuel Kim. So he's a composer, and he's pretty big, couple million subs. He's worked with Star Wars Theory, Dan Vask. He's phenomenal. And one day he just vanished, and everyone speculates everything from anything from lawsuits because he was using Star Wars music and things like that and recomposing. So it's really curious. You always wonder like what happens to these people who have like a huge following and you never hear from them ever again.
Well, if for some reason we just don't show up one day and we just go silent, it's because we're all dead. Just
Probably
so you know.
would be the explanation for me. It's like, otherwise, I don't know why I'd be offline. It's got to be something serious.
No, I killed Craig in Power World.
Noted. Thanks, lad. Appreciate
I'm
that.
gonna do the Mike Josiah Rises kind of thing.
Yeah, with a shovel. Bang.
I don't want that to happen, but I'll.
You don't want to be hit with a shovel?
Right.
No.
Mike resurrected him again.
Yeah, Mike brought him back to
later.
life. Do you know the lore? Do you know the lore with Mike and Josiah?
To him, it's just a very strange conversation.
Yeah, he's got no idea what's going on. It's fine.
Exactly. I'm just like, all right, just please don't kill me, Blabs. All right, sounds good.
Fine.
Hey,
Don't make me mad.
Ian, with 10 gifted
That was a
memberships.
creepy smile.
Yeah, I know. You scare me, Blabs. You're weird. Ian, thank you so much. If you guys got gifted membership, make sure you guys say thank you and consider paying it forward. We'd really appreciate that. That's awesome. 10 new normal men to the channel. Demi came back and says, this is, by the way, I'm Spooter Dirk, new icon and name because I left the furry fandom after a decade of abuse. Also, Rip Comicstorian, he got me into comics. Let's go. Well, good for you making a change there, Demi. All right, let's get a Speedy Cake and Ian on the wall here. Look at that. Look at them right there. Let's go. Blabs, I'm going to let you guide us through this next story with J.K. Rowling. Rolling.
Every time, man. Every time. Anyway, so as you guys know, there's a huge controversy around J.K. Rowling's views of gender. And some people have actually taken it. Yeah, right. It's just amazing. Some people have actually gone and created a play about J.K. Rowling and her views, and it's criticizing her views on gender. But it also includes Rupert Grint, Daniel Radcliffe, and Emma Watson, who played the 3 Harry Potter stars, right?
Wait.
Where did they get the money? Like, they would have wanted a crap load of cash, presumably.
No. Like, it stars, like the people, but it's not actually them. Like, they're hiring people to play Rupert, play Dan, play Emma, play J.K. Rowling.
So is it
it's
meant
not
to be like
actually
a biography kind of play?
Yeah, it's a huge criticism of what's going on, basically. You know how, like, they pretend to be the royals and things like that in plays and movies. Same thing.
Got it.
Right. So the problem is they can't find anyone to cast as J.K. Rowling and to cast as Emma Watson because nobody wants to be attached to this massive problem that is, you know, J.K. Rowling's gender views. So, like,
especially
I believe
Emma Watson. Like, can you imagine playing her? Was she the self-coupling one, or was that there was something like that?
Yeah, she's self-partnered. She came out with that, like, 5 years ago? Oh, I love being me. I'm self-partnered. Meanwhile, she's always dating men with man buns and, like, hippy-dippy, whatever. Yes, Craig?
What are you talking about right now?
Oh my God, it's a rabbit hole.
She essentially dated herself.
Yes, there was an interview with, I forget who it was, maybe Vogue or something like that, with Emma Watson and a trans woman, not a biological woman. Anyway, I think his name's Paris. I don't remember, whatever. She was all like, oh, I'm self-partnered now. This is Emma Watson saying she's self-partnered. Yes. This was years ago. She has since had multiple boyfriends since. And she actually had a boyfriend during that time, too. So I'm like, what are you talking about? We literally see you in the news. Anyway.
Oh, can you imagine being him? And she's like, I don't even see you as a person.
I'm self-partnered. I am, yeah. So that's the new thing about being single, I guess.
You're a man. You don't count.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the play. They tried to get like 30 or 60, I can't remember which was which, to like female actresses to cast as Emma Watson's character, and nobody would do it. They've tried to get a shit ton of people, like, again, it was either 30 or 60 to cast as J.K. Rowling, and everyone's denying it. And then the people who are in charge of this play, which, mind you, it's not even running for a month, play, so because they have no money, they're like, why isn't anyone doing this? I guess they don't want to be attached to the criticism or the controversy. They don't want it to look bad on their resume. It's like, no shit, man, you guys are in the wrong. You're literally criticizing and attacking a woman for her opinions.
I don't even think that's it. I think nobody wants to be attached to it because it will ruin their career. Not for the views, but because this is a no-name play in, like, Nowhereville kind of thing that's hard
funny enough,
running.
it's in Sir Ian McKellen's theater, so it's not like a low level theater, right?
Yeah, but if it's barely running for a month, you put all the work to learn it and everything. Like, people do roles because they want to they want to go up the ladder, they want to climb, they want to do prestigious things. They don't want to do some supposedly edgy, no-name play in the middle of nowhere.
I have context. Yes. Something I feel like is very important to the story, which makes a lot of sense once you know this. The play, which was written by queer-identifying Hollywood scriptwriter Joshua Kaplan.
All of them?
Yeah. Aren't they all queer?
Tells the story of a fictional intervention staged by Rowling by the stars of the Harry Potter franchise, Watson, Grint, and Radcliffe. Now, here we are. the play was initially titled Turf Cunt.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Should have led with that, Blubs.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I don't like saying one word. That's why I didn't say it. The see you next Tuesday one.
You mean like turf? See you next Tuesday.
I mean, I wrote it in the document for Craig. I was like, title's called Turf Grunt.
Hey, you should probably lead with that. Just
Well, right, fine. Next time, guys. By the way, this play is called Turf Cunt. But I just want to point out, like, my solution.
I can't imagine
to
why
this,
they didn't get respectable actresses.
right. I was gonna say
my solution to this, because they think that men and women are inherently the absolute same. Why did they just hire a man to play J.K. Rowling, or like a trans woman, right? Like, just pretend the freaking Michael next door is Joanne. Done. Right?
Just come out with a proper beard.
Yeah. We're all the same now, right?
wow. Well, it's now just called Turf. That's the name of the play. So
I see it in headlines. Tough.
Tell me again about how this play is very objective. Right? I'm going into it. Very objective.
So
play.
the TLDR chat, they can't find any actresses to play Rowling or Watson.
If they asked Twitter would find somebody. I mean,
somebody in the
they'd be
basement.
weird,
I'll
but
do
you'd
it.
find 'em. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Demi will do it. Says, I'm trans myself, but screw the Hogwarts Legacy boycotts, and the JK hate goes way too far in other areas. I could get into that. Well, Demi, you should just go and play JK Rowling right there.
Or go play Watson. I'm sure she'll love that, since she keeps saying that she'd be totally fine using the same bathroom as everybody else and everything, advocating and virtue signaling from her mansion. Yeah, it's great.
There you go. That's easy breezy. Well, we can only hope that that this play gets underway, and I'm sure it'll have wonderful reviews. Yes.
I can't wait to read the reviews though. Can you imagine turf flops?
My favorite
That'd be
Emma
great.
Watson moment is after being in like one of the biggest movie franchises of all time, that she went to the UN, stood in front of everybody, and said how no one listens to her and she's oppressed. I'm like, you were literally standing in front of the UN going, nobody pays attention to me. It's like, what more do you need?
Yeah, I remember that was the whole she for he movement that quickly flopped. No one talks about that anymore. Like, there was Tom Hiddleston in that. Like, there was a whole bunch of people in the he for she movement.
I love the idea that you can stand in front of this idea that you're standing in front of the Congress or whatever it is over there, and Parliament, and you being oppressed. That's just spectacular.
Yeah, Brianna Wu.
It was at the United Nations for Women meeting. There is no United Nations for Men meeting. And she's there going, nobody pays attention to us. Like, you've literally got special treatment carved out for you, and it's not enough for me. Please give me more free stuff. Oh, please. Nobody should have to get married to herself. Who was Anita Sarkeesian.
She must be so like sad inside.
Oh, listen, all these people are sad inside. That's really what it comes down to. And it's funny. I had a tweet that I was putting together about this. And
who puts together a tweet?
Well, I'll start a tweet and then I'll save a draft. Right? Do you not do that? Do you not have drafts?
No.
Twitter for me is whatever I'm thinking of in that 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Twitter's not my diary, Craig.
Well, no, me neither. I only have two saved tweets. But one of them, yes. But one of them is more like the idea that just a lot of this comes back to people's insecurities. Like that's how Mercante is extremely insecure, right? A lot of these people are they're not secure with themselves, so they project outward, and it's all projection. That's really what a lot of this comes down to, and it's sad. But you guys are right.
It's also self-interest. It's like, well, no one listens to women. We need more roles for women. It's like, oh, well, you just happen to be a woman. That's coincidental. Or they'd be like, we need more female directors. It's like, oh, you just happen to be a female director. Oh, we need more of this. It's like, oh, you just happen to be... I've never seen anyone advocate for somebody that it doesn't benefit themselves in some way. It always comes down to self-interest. And my favorite one is when they change. So at younger, it's like nobody listens to the younger actresses. I can never get the roles I want. Everyone wants me to do this. And then as they get older, it's like, there's never any roles for older women.
Right.
I want to point out that Emma Watson, if I'm not mistaken, was getting paid more than Rupert Grint, who played Ron Weasley. So she was getting paid more than the other. And like they were basically
she
the
should,
same
shouldn't
type of role because they're both, Harry's best friend. So they should have been getting paid equally, but I'm pretty sure she got paid more because she's beautiful, bigger. Everything became models, stuff like that. So she shouldn't really be talking about oppression when she got paid second most.
I think I probably would have put her second most. I would put Harry first, then her, then the ginger one.
Ron for the win. He's so much better
Ron
in the
was
books.
awful.
Listen, yeah, it's because here's the thing, and this is why I laugh when she says she's oppressed. So the scriptwriter for Harry Potter was so like obsessed with Hermione's character that he gave all of Ron's lines from the books to Hermione in the movies. So that's why everybody
So he
shits
didn't
on
deserve
Ron.
to get paid second. He was crap.
No, but like he wasn't actually crap. They were just obsessed with Hermione's character, like a girl and everything, that they just gave her all this stuff. So her saying she's oppressed when it's like, you're not. You got all these lines also, got paid more. It's like, why are you oppressed? You were literally the main chick. You were like the cheerleader, basically. You were the only girl. Anyway,
That's what she was there for. She's like, go on, Harry, you can do it.
Dude, and it's so wild when you compare her to like Flick Miles, who we had on the show, and Flick seems so like well-rounded and happy with her life. She got out of all the films and stuff. I feel like she's a lot happier and more like, had a more fulfilling life already than Emma ever will. Emma has like millions of dollars.
Yeah, she's never come across as happy in any of the speeches that I've ever seen her do.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, I guess we'll keep a close eye on this upcoming blockbuster of a play and see how well it does.
I'm actually really excited to see how this does.
Sure, it'll be great. It'll be great. Ian came up with a spectacular idea. Look at this. They should set the rolling play in space and call it AstroTurf. You're welcome, everyone. Hey.
It's probably the Acolyte episode 4, to be honest.
Let's go. Ian, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good stuff right there. Love it. Aaron also came in and says, I like Blab's casting idea. Nothing would be better than seeing a play called Turf with an all-male cast.
It would be great.
It's good stuff. Grayman says, Germany is getting its face kicked by Scotland. All right, Grayman.
Cricket? I don't know.
EHF came in. Blabs, go read that up while I put Ian on the wall.
EHF says, the people angry at rowing are the type to go to the North Pole and get angry the bears are white. This is true. It's amazing how people like channel their energy into absolutely nothing of major importance. It's like, okay, don't you have other things to do? Here's some deep lore from Master Gawa. Blab's shovel originally gave Craig his stutter, and a second shoveling may fix it, but nothing can fix his reading. Blabs has job security. Correct.
Thanks, Mr.
Behave
Gawa.
yourself, Craig, or it's worth another shovel to the head. Anyway, Lord Spleech says, TERFs are just feminists that are more honest about their man-hating misandry. I mean, I don't really think some feminists hate men. I think they just want to advocate. Like, listen, a real feminist just wants to advocate for equal rights, right? So if a woman has a safe space, man gets safe space. But that seems to be gone now. So I don't know. I guess feminists aren't a real thing anymore. I don't know. Whatever. Demi says, remember when Warner Brothers canceled the Brandon Fraser Batman movie that was done for supposedly being too risky, but kept Velma and the fastest pedophile alive? Oh, you mean Ezra Miller? Ezra Miller's Flash and Velma. Well, listen, Warner Brothers literally fired Johnny Depp. But Warner Brothers knew of what was going on way before because J.K. Rowling was vouching for him, saying he's good, he's innocent. And then years later, we found out he actually is innocent. So, Warner Brothers doesn't know what time of day it is at all anyway. Aaron gifted 10 side-scroller memberships. Thank you very much, Aaron. If you have one, please say thank you.
Aaron, thank you very much. That's a lot of new normal men to the chat.
And then we also got Aldred the Drifter gifted 5 Side Scrollers memberships. So thank you very much, guys. If you got one, please say thank you. Indeed. And then Astro Guardian says, hey, yo, finally got a moment where you guys are live, but reminding of this month being Men's Health Month. So keep safe and keep up that American pride. Yes, it actually is Men's Health Month along with Dairy Month. Apparently men can't have a month to themselves. So, yeah.
No,
But that's because every month is Men's Month.
that's right.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
That's right.
Back in the good old days, anyway.
All right, Disbrew, you get to pick where we're going next. Do you want to talk Doctor Who or Activision and DEI.
We'll save the best till last. We'll go Activision.
All right, sounds good. Okay, this came down this yesterday. So I thought we'd talk about this. Activision has a website that really goes in on DEI, and they're not just jumping in, like they're not dipping their toe in. No. They have ripped off their clothes. They are buck naked, and they have jumped into the deep end off the high dive. Right? These guys are all in on this. So their website looks like this. Here it is right here, and I'm guessing that this is their crew, their DEI cast of characters that runs here. Anyways,
I'm not represented in that group at all.
Right? You don't feel very represented at all, do you?
This is absolute bigotry.
It's crazy. Well, they have as you scroll down, they give you a full rundown of all the things that they have. Speaking of rundown, they have an entire presentation called The Rundown. And we're going to dig into that a little bit as well. But it has all the things, choosing to do what matters because it matters. Our DEI strategy is woven into the fabric of our business. It identifies opportunities for growth within our business by using our business drivers as a lens to focus our efforts on initiatives that can be the most impactful in our people, company, and community. This is how we advance on our DE and I journey as an organization.
Do you notice how there's no reason of why they should do it? They've just gone, because they really don't admit it's self-interest. Like, I will ensure that I have a job at this company. I will get promoted. I will get more money than I ever could have earned in any other career possible. And I don't have to deserve anything. I just get it. It's literally everything self-interest.
Well, this is, you're 100% right. 100% right on this. The idea of this is really amazing, and there's a really good rundown of some of the things that Grums has put together. He's gone through this entire rundown 2.0. This is the doc here, but here's an entire rundown. Yes,
in that picture that started popping up in every game. I never even knew that was a thing until like Michael Jackson announced that he had it, and then suddenly it's in every game possible. It's anything with Sweet Baby and everything. You've got to have this.
The condition. Well, here's a rundown of some of the things. Sorry, using the word rundown on this is tough because that's what they called it. But here's a TLDR bullet point of it. So, as I said, this is that they have a 3-year roadmap from now until 2026. Right. Some of these are really like crazy. Okay. All AI voice chat moderation to enforce DEI compliance with players, right? The idea that you will comply. You will comply. Embed exposure to DEI programming from day one for all new employees, building safe spaces inside the company for every group under the sun, which is true. If you scroll down actually on the list itself, it has a full rundown of that's rundown term.
It's the one for me.
What's that?
Do I have a safe space?
Well, let's find out really quick. Let's see if you do have a safe space.
That's what I'm interested in. All of this stuff. It's like, well, what do I get out of it? It's like everyone else gets something. I want to if you just want a room for you to sit in, that's fine. Do I get one? I love how there is at the end.
Yeah. Thank you for complying. Thank you for running for making sure this is all accurate. Where was it? There was an entire had all the different groups that were available with this, and it was like, okay, yeah. But to go back to your question, were you included? The answer is no. Just a quick spoiler for you, but no, you were not included. But
they're actively against disabilities.
As we continue down, it says, uses DEI goals for setting to foster accountability, host an internal live video series called Press Pause that trains employees on diversity storytelling and culture of support. Quotes, let's see, backs and attends numerous DEI panels, tracks an inclusion score for every employee. Every employee has an inclusion score. They use taco vendors and coffee carts. That is a diversifying supplier chain right there, which is amazing. Just by going and having a taco truck show up.
Now, that
and this
inclusion score, you don't track something like that unless you're going to use it. So that will be used for promotion, bonuses, wages, all that kind of stuff. And there will be, if you have a low score, you won't get anything. And so they just hope you'll leave the company.
Yes, and that's the scary thing about it. And I have several friends who work for this company, and this is a very large company. We're talking about Activision Blizzard here. We're talking tens of thousands of people, and the trickle down effect associated with this. And here's the other one: inclusive game design, introducing more characters like Catbat, the first non-binary character voiced by a gender fluid actor who, quote, uses all pronouns in Crash Team Rumble. So there you go. Did you know that you needed to have pronouns to be in a racing game about a bandicoot?
I mean, are they actually a real bandicoot, though?
Are they really? Are they really? This all just seems like such gobbledygook. When you look at some of the slides here, it really is amazing to see how much they've gone into this and how far they're leaning into this and how the negative effects associated with, like, you're talking about the games. Like, this is not based off merit. This is based off of, well, we're going to hire you because of this, because of your skin color, because you're gay, because you're whatever. At what point, like, someone at some point has to, like, sue, right? Somebody does. There has to be some change, because there's no way this is legal. No way.
Well, I mean, you can now. Well, now that's come out to the thing, every single person that they fire or don't hire has grounds to go, I think I was discriminated against. Because you have an inclusion score. That's literally what that's meant to be for. There's no reason to come up with that score unless you're going to use it to do some kind of outcome. Nobody tracks data unless they're intending to use the data for a purpose. And so, like, it depends what the score includes, but, it probably includes all the different check boxes that you've got, plus what activities you're going to do, which coincidentally, I'm sure they get all of them and they'd have really high scores. And if you have high scores, well, you're probably better for the company. So you probably should be promoted. Everything comes down to preserving my job path.
And speaking of job paths, I thought that it was important as I scrolled down the website. I was looking at some of their key leaders here, some of the key leaders that are associated with this movement at Activision. And here's a list of our people. The director of inclusive game design. Like, what a made up title that is. The inclusive game design. What does that even mean? We don't know. But here's Adrian Letta. And I mean, I'm good to show their LinkedIn, right? Because it's public.
It's public
right?
information.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
same as Twitter.
This is
their post on it.
What's that?
Same as Twitter. Like, anything you post public on the internet.
Yeah, right.
Private.
Well, here is their Twitter, Adrian Letta. And they are the head of inclusive game design at Activision Blizzard. And they actually have their resume here. And I want to triple check one more time because I want to make sure it doesn't have any crazy personal information. But once again, this is publicly available, so I'll take it for what it is. But when you look at their resume, and I have it pulled up on screen, the number one thing listed here is, and I'll pull it up here. The number one thing here is first is pronouns, but as you scroll down, is the accessible and DEI experience. That is it. Accessibility and DEI experience right here. Talks about his professional history, blah, blah, blah. Look at the amount of space that it's the entire first page. Like, this is
why they do this, right? Because modern hiring procedures have changed. There's now so many people applying for everything. Everything went digital. That it's no longer a guy at a desk looking at your resume. They just put them through an AI system or like a computer system. It literally scans for keywords that you put into it, and then it spits out a list. And so for this job, you are better off with like paragraphs of keywords that they will specifically scan for, and that has the advantage of filtering out all the people that aren't part of the cult because they don't use that language. So if you hit all of those things, that's why I've raised the idea before that if you ever want to clean these companies, all you have to do is sit in meetings with a clipboard, and whenever they hit a keyword, just fire them. Like, that's literally how you get rid of it. It's a language deliberately to signal to the tribe that I'm on your side. I'm part of the in-group. And so that would be the way that you could get back on target.
Well, this person has, from a game developer perspective, has worked on the Call of Duty series, the Crash Bandicoot series, the Spyro series, and Skylanders and Guitar Hero. So these are major franchises within Activision here. And for Call of Duty, it says collaborated, advised, and supported different studios with advocating design and shipping accessibility features in their games. So really, that's what they did. Is there a colorblind setting for Disparu? Can there...
Which are always crap, by the way. I don't use them because they're that awful. You need to get someone who's actually colorblind to design that thing.
Well, this guy, he included colorblind options, including mono audio and camera movement options.
If he's not colorblind himself, he doesn't represent me.
Dude, that's actually a really good question. Really good question. Like, are the people working on your colorblind settings, are they actually colorblind? Do they actually know?
I've never had settings that were better than the originals for me. And I'm the kind of person that when Overwatch changed the ability to change the outline, that was like a godsend, because now I could finally see things. Because I think they had a red one, and I'm red-green colorblind, so I changed it to yellow, and now I can actually see the enemies. There are times in a first-person shooters, especially with the movement and stuff, the guy will just vanish. Like, I just can't see him anymore on the screen. It takes me a while to pick up the movement again. So it is a genuine issue, more than anything else. But I find a lot of these jobs, though, they're like, we include everybody. It's like, yeah, but everybody shouldn't be included. But people that don't game, well, they obviously shouldn't be included. People who are a minor part of your audience shouldn't, because they're a minor part of your audience, and you will... all of this is zero sum, so if you include a minor part, you're going to exclude the majority, which is bad business. And so all of these ideas are, like, objectively awful from a business standpoint. They will make you go bankrupt. They will make you hire the wrong people. They will make you hire less quality people than you would have done if you hadn't cared about any of this stuff, and you'd just gone, who's the best person? Then you'd end up with a higher quality team overall. And I think it shows in the game design. Like, does anyone really care about Activision stuff now anymore? Like, COD is the same game every year. Blizzard don't do any work. They thought that 3 heroes for Overwatch a year was enough content for everybody. And whenever there's a scandal, they just double down on this. So they use it as a shield while sinking their company even further. You can survive a scandal a hell of a lot better than you can survive hiring the wrong people for the job. Like, they're incapable of doing anything good. And all they do with this is double down. Will any of those people care? No, because they'll walk into another job. Well, they've sank your company, and they've done the absolutely amazing thing of selling it to Microsoft. So they're not even on the bag for what they do anymore. It just seems to me like a load of people going into a major company thinking, these have got all the money, I'm going to stuff my thing into it, and if I sink it, well, I will have got 10 years of work out of it. I don't really care.
So what's interesting about this, at the Dallas meetup this past weekend, I had an opportunity to, a gentleman walked out to me and he said, hey, I really love what you're doing. And I said, cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. Right. And he said, I worked in the industry for 22 years and I retired in 2022. And he worked for EA, Microsoft, and Wizards of the Coast. And this is a former technical director in the space who worked on some pretty high profile games. And he's going to come on the show here in a couple weeks and kind of share some of his stories about how this has crept in, his personal experience of like when he started to see this and how video games have gotten to this point. So it's going to be a really fascinating show to have them on. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I went back and I was like, what exactly, like, this person circling back to this person that we were talking about, like the head of game diversity, right? Like, what is it like? These titles are so debunked. And I asked Blabs, like, hey, Blabs, will you do a little digging on this guy's resume to see like what qualified him for this position? And Blabs, what did you find?
There's really not a whole lot in his actual like gaming resume. So like for the most part, all he was doing was in the DEI purpose was colorblind accessibility and talking to people in FAQs and hearing what they want to do, things like that. He was actually doing more gaming stuff, like he was designing and shaping enemies, boss fights, things like that, like actual parts of the game, not DEI related. So that's why I kept saying, that's what I was reading. It depends on what the boss looks like, right? All these boss fights, but he doesn't specify, so I can't like say
that's
anything.
What his job is, though. That's it. When they say consulting, they'll be like, well, this villain will be this guy in GTA and he steals cars. You can't do that. That's a stereotype. Like, that will be his job, to tell you what you can't do and basically ruin your stories.
He was basically just straight up saying, like, general. Like, his position was just general. There's no really consulting. So I don't know. But based off of everything I read, his most thing was for colorblind. That was the most DEI. So
well, that's probably the only mechanical thing. The rest will be...
story.
I'm just going to call you racist. Is basically the thing. It is one of those things, if you hire somebody like that for the job, if he goes, oh no, your company's great, absolutely no problem at all. Like, you're all great stand-up blokes. I know you don't mean anything by this. It's fine. He gets fired. He has to insult you. He has to humiliate you. That is literally his job, to make everybody else in the company feel like crap and constantly put them down. It's like, no, you've made a mistake doing this. You've done this wrong. You've done this wrong. If you make him find a problem, he will go out and look for one. And this is how he came up with microaggressions, because there were no real problems. So they had to invent an entire new layer of problems to find. This is how we ended up with, if you do an Irish accent, then suddenly it's problematic. That only came around because a load of people needed to find a problem with it so they could have a go at other people and make themselves feel better. It's just now, we've paid people $150K a year to do it in a corporation. It's wild.
You know, Morzak says, it's been 10 years. None of this is ending. You know, Grums is like, it takes 2 years of boycotting these companies for this to really take effect. It's going to take 2 years of boycotting more or less AAA. And I was always like, you know, like, it's really hard to, I mean, it's not hard to boycott games. You just don't spend your money, right? But at the same time, like, I think what that will happen is, if you don't do anything for 2 years, you're out of practice. You'll find something else to fill that time, and that's okay. You know,
well, there's
that's
plenty
fine.
of other games. You don't need Activision.
Right, but this is so deep. You know, between Activision, between Ubisoft, you know, between EA, all these companies are doing it. Every single one of them, and you know, so whether it's a return to the retro games, whether it's a return to indie titles, you're right. There are other things to do, but it's disheartening. You know, it's disheartening to see that we live in a society that is built around that's not built around merit, and the idea that the best person for the job doesn't get the job, and that's, you know, ultimately that will cause games to erode, you know, and you're going to see games that aren't as good. And that's the reality of the situation. That's like, sorry, that is just the reality. Hire the best person. I don't care if they're gay, straight, black, white. It doesn't matter to me. Just hire the best person. But that is a lost thing. And by the way, it's just the chef's kiss on all this stuff is that the president who is championing this, Rob Kostick, is the president of Activision, is the whitest guy on earth.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a more white generic guy than this guy. Like, what are we doing?
But also, well, now no one can have a go at him, right? Because he's literally made himself immune to it by having this thing. That's what it was there for. All the journalists and everything would come out and they'd start accusing these people. I'm like, no, we can't. Oh, well, you know, what? How can you prove it to us? Well, we've been doing this, and this. And it's all there. It's just to cover their backs. Their issue was they started giving them actual power because this stuff grows. And it's why I don't think that 2 years will fix this because it's so ingrained in the company now. There's so many rules behind it. The HR department is full of it. You literally have to you have to do what Elon did on Twitter. Get rid of nearly every single person in there, apart from the people who have basically been oppressed all this time, because they're those are the best people in the company, because to survive throughout all of this, they basically had to make their jobs bulletproof. Like, you need me, otherwise they would have been replaced by this point. So they're probably the most talented people in there. And I've reached a point now where I do think you can learn some lessons from it, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to play neutral games anymore. You have to be actively anti this, and so if anyone even suggests it be fired, like, immediately, no, we don't stand for that. We're not going to have that racism in this company. Bye. And so it's sort of no holds barred. The moment you even hear a suggestion of this, if you let it go, it spreads. Like, we know this now. They hire the people who agree with them. This is what all of these people, because they think everybody else is evil. And so they're not going to hire them. And so you have to have sort of zero tolerance with it. Otherwise, it always gets worse. And I do think you probably don't need to boycott it, simply because these games are going to be crap anyway. You're not going to want to buy them. And I think the industry naturally collapses on its own. We've seen it with entertainment. I now watch Korean stuff and anime because they have the culture and the morals that I like. I don't care if the Japanese or Korean or whatever. I just want good entertainment, and they have the culture which I like. So I like what their culture produces. It makes sense. And I think that's going to happen in gaming as well. I've been through this before, actually, when multi-platform came out. With everything used to be like PC or console, and then it merged.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like console games. I prefer the deeper PC games, and a lot of them went more shallow and became more consoleized. So I just started playing things like RimWorld and other indie titles, and I think they will. Well, as we've seen, actually, with Palworld, and Elden Ring, no, it's not indie, but it's not a Western game, and I think they'll see a resurgence.
Well, I definitely think that's going to happen for sure over time. But it's a mess, man. The video game industry is a mess, and you know what RIPA has done for the comic book industry. I think that is a very natural thing for what I'd like to do for the gaming space. I would love to get into game publishing and game development again. Already had a few calls about it. Fully intend on doing it. Just making fun games for people to play. They don't have all this stuff shoved in it, man, shoved in their face. It's crazy. But hopefully we'll get to that sooner than later. All right, let's go to move on to this final story here. And Blabs, we're going to go to Blabs' X thread here to talk about this. Bruh, what are we talking about here, Blabs?
We're talking about Doctor Who and his sex life. So the Telegraph, which once upon a time was, I thought, a reliable a newspaper maybe 20 years ago, is now resorting to talking about the actual sex life of the Doctor in Doctor Who. And at the very end of the article, because somehow I was able to see it, you need a subscription, but on my phone I was able to see it. If you scroll down, Craig, you can actually see the last paragraph. And it says that the Doctor is now loud, proud, and in your face about his sex life. And now Disparu, I'm sure, can confirm all this after vividly watching the new season.
Well, the interesting part of it is that's not the worst bit. Like, the fact that just like, oh, you know, he's really horny all of a sudden isn't even the worst bit of the episode. He is so obsessed with it in this episode. It's the only thing he's after. He sees like somebody who's got advanced technology and he works that out. So he goes to talk to him. And I think it was under a minute. He talks to this guy and the guy's like, do you want to go outside? He's like, oh, you're a fast mover. So he goes to bang him outside in under a minute of meeting this bloke. And he's like, that's still not the worst bit. He spends the rest of the episode desperately trying to get in this guy's pants. The guy is like, no, you can't. And he played a bit hard to get kind of thing. He's like, no, I don't do that. I lost someone a long time ago, kind of blah, blah, blah. And he's just like aggressively coming on to him the entire time. All this time, and he knows this by this point, there are aliens in the other building killing people. And his companion is in that other building. And he doesn't care. He is literally after this other bloke. He's just preoccupied with it while people are dying in the other room. And the eventual culmination of this episode is that his companion gets caught by the aliens, and she's basically a goner. She is going to die at the end of it, and he has nothing else to do. He doesn't try and get her out of it. He does nothing except stand there, look at her, about to die, and cry, because that's all he's been doing the entire series. So it's not the Doctor at all, but he literally gets his companion killed because he can't control his pants. It's in the end, the guy he's been trying to get it on with has to sacrifice himself to save the companion. And the Doctor does absolutely nothing. This guy's supposed to be the most intelligent person in the room, the hero. He didn't bother to try and go, oh, I'll sacrifice myself for you or anything like a bloke would. No. And instead, I'm going to stand here and watch you die because it's my own fault. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wow. Blaz, wow.
Wow, bro.
Oh, and halfway through the episode, they put in an ADR line off screen of him going, we should probably get back to the manor because people are dying in there. And I'm like, yes, that's what I've been saying for the first half an hour of this episode.
Damn. And the funny thing is, and I guess it's kind of a knock on their originality, but I find that this new companion, like I've not seen any of this stuff. I've seen maybe a clip here or there, but I find this new chick, Ruby, looks like a complete discount version of Clara. I've been saying it since they casted her.
The best episode of the season for me was when he wasn't in it and she was. Like, she's not great by any means. She can't really act, but at least when it's just her, she managed to play it at sort of a mediocre level, so you could kind of... The atmosphere and everything around her still worked, but he actually drains atmosphere from the episode, because he's so, like, camp and effeminate, basically. He's, like, happy-go-lucky all the time, really enthusiastic, but it doesn't work. He can't do the dark, I've seen things for a millennia, I've seen entire planets die, darkness of the Doctor. There's one line in this episode, actually, where he kind of... It's the closest he's ever gotten, and it's when she's about to die, and he goes, how long do those people live? This guy goes, 200 years. He says, good. That's a long time to suffer. And that's the only time he even shows darkness of anything and kind of approaches what it is. But everything else, he's either happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic, or crying.
Sounds like a woman.
Yeah. I've called him multiple times the first female Doctor played by QT Gatwa, because, if anything, Jodie Whittaker came across more like a bloke.
First trans Doctor, then. Gotcha.
It's amazing to see these franchises.
He runs from the aliens holding the other man's hand. And they're like running along holding hands together. And even with one hand, like captured, he still manages to mince with his other hand as he's running along. It's like got a really sort of he runs like that. And there's actually a bit where they run up to an alien, so the alien stops them, and they turn around and then re-grab other hands before they run off again. I'm like, what am I even watching? It's like a parody. It's like the ultimate parody of Doctor Who.
Wow. Well, it hasn't gone well, as the show ratings have not been spectacular by any means. They continue to drop here. But Blabs, let's go to continue with this one right here.
Right, so the Doctor Who showrunner admits ratings for the show are trash and hits it could be scrapped. So it literally is a whole mumbo-bumbo, like word salad article until the very last bit at the very end where he's all like, yeah, the ratings aren't what we expected, but we always want better ratings, so it's fine.
What is this?
Oh, that was from the...
what is that?
That was from the racist episode. Do you know about that one?
Blake Very Blue?
Right, so I don't know if you noticed something about that. Like, this is a BBC show, so that picture is supposed to be... Like, that's the warning sign that there's something wrong with this planet, because those people exist. And it basically goes through... And the most of the episode about social media, like a literal bubble around their heads, that they're all talking to each other all the time. They don't work, they're rich, they're young. It's a bit about Zoomers and stuff. But the real thing is people are so occupied with social media, these monsters are eating them, and they don't realize because they're too preoccupied by social media. Until they get to the end, the Doctor has come through, and there's lots of hints, like everyone else left this planet when it was, what was it? What did they use? Disinfected. They disinfected the planet. And they get through, and she talks back to him a few times, like, don't worry, he'll be punished, and I don't really want anything to do with you attitude. But then she gets to the end, and he's like, I've got this TARDIS, by the way, you can all just come with me and leave this planet, I'll set you up on a new one, it'll be fine. They're like, no, we're going to go out into the forest which you said got deadly creatures in, no, we're just going to go out there and die. And he's like, no, but I can save you, I've got this spaceship, we can just leave. He's like, no, I'm not going with you. It's like, it's okay talking to you online, but I can't be seen with you in public. And it is literally, we would rather die than go in a spaceship with a black man. That is the entire episode. And their thing with that picture, and there's actually a quote from Davis that says this, is by now you should have realized something strange is going on. That there's something weird about this. Because by this time we've shown you white person after white person after white person. And if you didn't realize that, why didn't you realize that? In other words, if you didn't see the twist coming, you're a racist. Was the entire
Right.
point of the episode.
Wow.
Ooh, man. All right. Well, the ratings though have not been really great. Laz, what were you saying about the last part of this though?
Oh, that was it. Like at the very bottom, he just says, "Oh, it's not that we expected better ratings, and we're always striving for higher numbers, but we're happy." Blah 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 blah. But like this Park Place article says that they might scrap after season 2, and I didn't see that. I think that's just speculation, like a clickbait, basically. But yeah,
I've got the article on the Kindle because it's on the Radio Times, so it's the only way I could get it.
Look at him; he still uses a Kindle.
Well, it's the only way you can get it. They wouldn't allow it on the Kindle for PC. But e-readers are awesome. If you read a book, e-readers.
Oh, I have a Nook from Barnes and Noble still. It's pretty awesome.
But yeah, it says, the ratings may not be what we'd love. We always want higher, but they are building over the 28-day period. So in other words, if we just drag it out long enough, in 10 years, maybe we'll hit a record. But then it goes, Space Babies is already up to 5.6 million and counting, and it's getting there. But I was brought back in to get the younger audience. That's been massively successful. The audience no one ever gets are under 30s. They just don't watch television anymore. But those figures are astronomical for Doctor Who. It's their top program in the bracket. I never thought it was possible, to be honest. But according to all the people who juggle the numbers, all the targets have been reached and exceeded. The BBC are running around like mad things. It's like, okay, so we don't have many people, but we do have more youngsters than anybody else. It's like, well, you do realize they don't have any money, right? That is one of the main things about them.
Right, exactly. Well, another franchise that has slowly been dismantled over time, but at least they have the young people who don't watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. So
the ones which are really hard to get to watch television. That's what they're setting their television show up on.
All right. Jeez Louise. All right, let's go to it is Friday, so let's move on to Clown World real quick. We got a few quick hits here, but it's always worth getting in the spaceship and making our way. Let's travel to Clown World.
Clown. Clown.
All right, we're there. We landed. We're safe. We didn't take a Boeing. But here we are in Clown World, friends. As we are in the middle of Pride Month, and Pride Month is, tell you what, it is an opportunity for a lot of corporations and cities, specifically in America and in North America, to really puff their chest out and let you know how proud they are of that community right there. And a lot of people have been saying, well, this is very performative. And I don't know if we have a better example of it than this. This is the city of Fredericton. It's in Canada, and they have this wonderful post over on X. It says, downtown Fredericton is looking a little brighter this morning as city crews paint the Pride sidewalk on our city hall. This is one small step to our long road together towards a more inclusive and safe society. Have you seen this?
I was disgusted by this because he's standing on it. Like, that just seems like a hate crime straight away, doesn't it? He should have painted it the opposite direction and stood on the opposite side.
Well, if he was painting it all, because if you notice, there's actually no paint on the roller
it's
at
finished.
all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that bit.
He's not painting anything. It's a clean roller the entire time. So this entire thing is just an opportunity for a photo shoot on social media. Didn't follow through on the steps. So
that makes it worse though, that they're like, can you please stand on it? It's like, we already want you to ruin it.
Yes. So tell me once again how it's not performative with this whole thing. So yes, that's one of them. So there you go, right there. Congratulations to Canada for showing us all this. This looks very American, this next one. And I don't even know if I really need to say anything here, but Dispro, I'd love to get your thoughts on the latest new group storming across America. Baddies Against Fascism.
I mean, they're going to be very lucky if a fascist group walks into them. Like, because they're not getting very far, are they? Let's be honest. Like, they're not traveling very far, and like all you'd have to do is walk 50 meters, and they're not going to be able to stop you any longer. So, I'm like, they would be very good at blocking like a march if they knew the route. They'd be like Snorlax. There's no way you're getting past them. But apart from that,
I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is real.
I think it is.
But it's really funny. It's really funny if it is. And honestly, that's kind of where we're at in this world, where we live in a society that we don't know if something is real because it's so insane. It still may be real, and that's where we're at with fatties.
I'm willing to think this is real,
right?
Just because of how handwritten all the signs and the T-shirts are and stuff.
And how they're all covering their faces and everything. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, except the couple at the back, they're really proud of themselves.
They are. Look at them. Look at this guy right here.
We couldn't find a kite wide enough.
I'm so mad. I like the idea of like pushing one down and just having it waddle around for a while, like a pig. It just got on its back.
I want to know what they're standing on at the back. Like,
oh man, yeah, maybe one of their fallen.
Well, I mean, everybody's sitting down, so maybe they're just standing.
They're just like kneel down. I'll step on it. No.
All right, let's go here. We have one last stop, and of course, let's go to the center of Clown World. That is Los Angeles. As congratulations, the LA City Council have removed the no U-turn traffic signs in a gay neighborhood because the signs were homophobic. So here we are, Blabs. Let's get to this from ABC 7 in Los Angeles. Let's check out to see what's so bad about these signs.
LA City Council members Hugo Soto Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
How?
What is that?
No,
what is that?
My theory was that just having the idea that you can't turn around implies that people wanted to, and therefore I've gone in the wrong area here and needed to turn around. And so they wanted to remove it. So it's like, no, we don't want to put that idea in your head. I don't know how it prevents people visiting, though.
I mean, this is one of those. And listen to this guy. I'm sorry. They them speak.
I was also surprised that these U-turn signs were still
maybe
up.
A girl.
They seem a little.
Oh my god!
Oh, maybe. No, maybe.
Maybe
that is amazing. No, that is genius. Full credit. That's the best name I've seen. Like genuinely, I think that is gold. That is pure meme magic right there.
Oh,
that's way better than the Doctor Who name.
Maybe a girl.
That can't be real.
No, it is.
Dude,
It's on the
this is from ABC 7. This is legit. Wow.
Hey, look, if you can choose your own name, you may as well make it something like that. It's like in horse racing, right? You can call your horse anything. My favorite horse name was Another Horse. Just so when they're calling it out, they're like, and so Sharon's coming up on the inside out, and another horse is taking over, and another horse is winning the race, and another horse is victorious.
Wow. Wowies. Well, let's listen to Maybe a Girl here with their logic on this.
And at first, they seem a little, okay, it's just a no U-turn sign. But when you learn the history of it and you realize that these were used to profile gay people, it's so important that we have these removed.
The LA City Council members say the signs were put up after the gay community began to grow and because there was a gay bar in that area.
How does this stop any? I just want to know how.
Disbrew, we did it. It's done.
People explain things, but they say things, but they don't explain why. That's the most interesting part.
Disbrew, listen, I'm sorry that you can't take Maybe a Girl at their word. All right. This is really rough. That
you have to think about what had to happen to get this done, right? They had to put together a whole plan of action. It had to go to someone official. They had to read it and go, yes, this is correct, and pass it up even higher. Because everyone knows what councils are like. They're all lazy. They don't want to do any work. And so this had to really convince people and get behind it. So there must have been some reasoning, but nobody wants to tell you what it is.
You know, and they said
they should have used mine. It's way better.
Wow. I mean, just absolutely amazing. And I do give this person marks for creativity for the name. I mean, that's just spectacular.
Oh,
and by the way,
I
this is the
100%.
Yeah, I mean, way to go. Good for you. And way to get those nasty U-turn signs turned or taken down. Nasty. Don't it? As a matter of fact, I think we should remove all U-turn signs from here on out. You know, no U-turn.
Road rules.
Yeah, we'll make I'll put them right here. You know, maybe I'll just put one up back there to show that I stand with all these wonderful people.
You should get a U-turn sign. Why not?
I tell you what,
it's good.
Those fantastic anti-fascists, they weren't standing with anybody.
No. Well, there you go. Well, let's get back on the spaceship and let's head back to Earth because that definitely was Clown World.
Clown. Clown.
All right, let's finish up with one thing before we get to some super chats, guys. Thank you very much for your support. We see all of them. We'll read every single super chat. Locals support, direct donations, Rumble rant. Guys, thank you very much. We'll get to every single one of those in just a minute. But first, I wanted to show you guys this because yesterday during the show I had a thought and I wrote it down. I was thinking about the Man Show. Now, Blabs, you don't know what the Man Show is, do you? And Disparu, you're from the other side of the pond, so you've never seen the Man Show before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Man Show was a show that was produced on Comedy Central, which is a television network here in the United States, and it starred Jimmy Kimmel and the greatness of Adam Carolla. And these are two comedians who, as you would expect, this is a show that's about man stuff. And I wanted to watch the intro to this with you guys. Just so we've seen Jimmy Kimmel just melt in the last 15 years or so, 20 years since he took the late night job, and he's just such a fucking pussy. But I wanted to watch this and just show me the stark contrast between the message here and what you're seeing today. And I feel like the Man Show is needed today now more than ever. So just watch this first 60 seconds.
Behold, the Hoover Dam. 6.6 million tons of concrete, harnessing nearly 1 trillion gallons of water.
16,000 men spent half a decade building it. They lived in shacks and tents along its base without drinking water, toilets, or shelter from the desert heat.
More than 100 of these men gave their lives to this dam. Their bodies are paved over in its walls. Its 2 million kilowatt capacity powers the greatest city in the world, Las Vegas.
And just as these heroic men did more than 60 years ago, we are building a dam.
A dam to hold back the tidal wave of feminization that is flooding this country.
A dam to stop the river of estrogen that is drowning us in political correctness.
A dam to urinate off of when we're really drunk.
We call this dam the Man Show.
Damn, that could have been one of my videos. There were so many ways they could have gone with that, though. This man, this entire dam is 2,000 pounds of concrete. It's been 2,000 years just to hold back the weight of Leslie Headland's fans in the accolade. Like you could go literally anywhere just to hide out the weight of tears of Twitter, but no. So
it's amazing
still
to
works
see
today for the same reason.
100%. Like probably more so today than it did in 1999. Like when this show first came on. I think that this is needed right now just as an outlet. It'd be interesting to see if somebody would maybe reach out to Adam Carolla and see if we can make the normal Man Show. Just throwing it out there. I think that'd be pretty awesome. So there you go. But to see Adam Carolla still pretty based, right? And Jimmy, whatever his name is, he's just off his rocker here in the last little bit. Blabs, what did you think of what'd you think of that, Blabs?
Totally the 90s, I'll say that. Just everything screams the 90s. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I feel like we kind of need more of that. Yeah, it's kind of funny to see Jimmy Kimmel like that because I've never seen a non-soy Jimmy Kimmel. So it was nice to see. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts to it because that was like the first time I've ever seen it. But I thought it was nice.
The interesting thing is exactly the same thing has happened over here. We had comedians in the 90s that were willing to say that back in the 90s they were having to go all the same stuff, which that is sort of sacrosanct now. And the most interesting part, it's the same people. So you can have a direct comparison of all the same. They've been sort of grandfathered in because they were willing to convert. A few people sprinkled out, but there is no new blood because the old people that are still on TV and everything, they're just not funny anymore. So to replace them, you'd have to be better than them, which would mean you'd have to be funny. But to be funny, you'd have to do what they were doing in the 90s, and they can't allow you to do that. And so you just end up with older and older people all the time. I think same thing's happening in movies. That they can't replace them because to be those people, to be those megastars, you'd actually have to be against something when they only want people, because they're already in positions of power, so they just want to preserve what they've got. So we just end up stagnating until eventually it collapses. And there's so many comedy, like my favorite comment, well, one of my favorite comedies is Coupling, and it is just a window into the 90s. And it's so interesting to see what's changed throughout culture, even down to like what people are attracted to now has changed, which you'd think that would be fixed across time, that there's just people like this. It's like, no, it all changed, all due to media and things. And it's kind of a shame to see that things have degraded that far, but it's also useful to have because you have so many people that will gaslight you that you're the problem, that everything actually wasn't like this. People were never happy. This is as good as it's always been. Actually, we're getting better. And you only have to watch one of these shows for 20 minutes and you realize that all of that's a lie. So I think that's probably why it gets taken down in a lot of places, just because it shows you what you shouldn't see.
Well, yeah, it's pay attention to the rest of society before current day. Yeah, just disregard all that. Just forget it all. That's crazy. Well, anyways,
because I lived through it, so to just have my own memories. But you can imagine if, like, I'm 37. If you were 27, you would never have seen that. You'd be too young, and so this is all you know. Yep.
Yes, do the normal man show, Craig. Do it. Yeah, I would love to get Adam Carolla associated, man. We'll see. Maybe we'll spend a little money and invest in a normal man show. Appreciate it. Speaking of money, let's get to some super chats, guys. Thank you very much for your support today. But first, I want to say Big Top came in with a $10 direct donation. Says, "Hey yo, sorry, late question from yesterday's stream. Is Brianna Wu married to Kenny Wu from the Mighty Ducks?" No, Big Top. Brianna Wu is not married to Kenny Wu from the Mighty Ducks. But thank you for that.
Someone set them up.
It would have been great. Last fire song.
Okay, so the first ones, we actually have to go to locals because there's a whole bunch over there. So Gusium sent a $1 tip saying YouTube may not be sponsored directly by Disney, but they can lose access to exclusive content through middlemen. And then Gusium also followed up with Amiibos, where the prime example of false scarcity. And then Gusium also said, so Emma Watson is a femcel. And then Gusium also followed up saying Hermione in the movies basically took over Ron's role as the guy who explains how the Wizarding World works. Correct. And then lastly,
it does show that this goes back a lot longer. Like, people will think, no, it started in 2015. No. Even back far as Harry Potter, they were taking stuff from the bloke to give it to the woman to uplift her. Like, this goes back like 100, 150 years. It's just, they got more and more mask off, and you see it in The Boys. In over 4 seasons, getting more and more mask off. But they were telling you this is what they were doing all the time. It's just, they sort of, as they got more power, it just got faster and faster.
Correct. And then lastly, Gusium followed up with, did you guys talk about how Sweet Baby Inc. got caught harassing the game devs for $7 million? Old mafia tactics at its finest.
I think we're going to talk about that on Monday. I see it kind of, Grums was talking about that earlier, and I'd like to get a little more information about it. So, yeah.
All right, so starting off on YouTube now, Wolf Colt gifted 1 side-scroller membership. Thank you very much, Wolf. Bebop says, I just watched Heath Ledger and Jake jiggle my balls kiss and remembered Harry Potter's gross. Okay, thanks, man. Market Reality says, just wanted to point out that I really enjoyed this Disper's review of Acolyte Episode 3.
Thank you, dude. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, they're really fun to make, those kind of things. Well, they are at the end.
I was going to say, is it like, I'm not a Star Wars guy, never have been, but I keep hearing this episode 3 is like the lowest point in all of Star Wars, right? Is that accurate?
It's so far. Well, it's not Star Wars for a start. It's entirely farcical, and it's a bit like an onion that it's got many layers to it, and the more you pull away, the more you want to cry. It is a case of it was so badly written, you don't know what's a bad part of the episode and what's just badly written. You know, are they intending to do this? Are they setting up mystery really poorly, or did it just not make sense? You can't tell that because they don't answer the thing in the episode. But what's happened twice now, there was an interviewer who said, can you tell me the reason why this guy's got a yellow lightsaber and this one's got a purple one? Because people have been theorizing about this stuff for like literally decades. She went, it's just whatever looked better. And this interviewer was crushed. Like, I've spent hours working that out, and you're just telling me you didn't care about it. And it's the same in this. One of the slogans was, what was it? The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. And it's like all off key and stuff. Sung really horribly.
Oh, it's awful.
But that's supposed to come like a mystical chant, a magical chant that you would think at least would go back centuries and stuff. She went, no. She just made it up. What it was, it's the power of the mother. The power of two is the sisters. And then the power of many is the Jedi, and she wants the sisters to be the power of many like the Jedi. It's like, oh, so this chant that your cult goes back to is about 15, or no, 8, no, the little kids. So about 7, 8 years old. And they're all singing it and getting all, feeling their oats as if it's some incredibly powerful thing that they're chanting, not something they came up with last Tuesday. So they put no thought into it. And all the theories that people that hate the show that have come up to explain that episode are all better than anything she said in an interview about what it actually is. Like, even the people that hate this show put more thought into it than she did, and she spent $180 million.
Yeah, nice. JR says, for Librarian Blab's smile, I paid my light fees. Good. Lord J says, the gay agenda is totally a hateful conspiracy theory, guys. Anyway, let us tell you again how we're forcing our ideology into every aspect of your lives. Yes, correct. Hill says, chat, don't let the complete dystopian future of gaming distract you from the fact that Craig hasn't finished Chrono Trigger. Craig's just gonna sit there in silence. Demi says, DEI is also money laundering by BlackRock used to distract us from them buying all the housing and apartment complexes. The rabbit hole goes deep. Thank you, Demi. Rebound says, gee, this sounds awful familiar. This is Bridge. Yeah, thanks, Rebound. Astral says, remember the end goal. This is part of the program. Arnold says, Disper, I grant you lifetime N-word subscription pass.
I live in the UK. I don't think cashing that in would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I would definitely, I'm not joking, I would 100% have police knocking on my door.
So,
like, ironically.
Craig, since you live in Texas, you should say this name. Go on. You're muted, Craig.
That was the
Arnold.
perfect time to say it then.
Yeah,
Arnold.
I did. Squash.
It's a good job you're dyslexic.
I'm not reading that, Blabs.
Whatever,
like, I'm not reading that. Why would I read that?
I don't know. I just wanted to see if you'd actually read it since you're so dyslexic. Anyway, Bebop says, I track data. Thank you, Bebop.
Thanks, Bebop. Good for you.
Adam says, can you turn down Blabs and turn up Dupus? Dupus. He's low and she's perking and breaks audio. Also, Dupus. My daughter loves my new combine harvester. Okay, I did turn myself down a little bit, but I don't know if that helped or not. But thank you, Adam. I really like calling Disper Dupus now on.
I do like the Combine Harvester song though. Any excuse to use that song in anything is amazing.
Lewis G says, nice to see Disper. That man, the man that saved me from watching Gotham Knight, who's playing Wukong in August.
I think like everybody was saved from watching Gotham Knights. That did not have good viewers.
B Chain says, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are two of my favorite characters and series. The remakes were full of heart. Now Activision has gone insane. I don't want them even looking at these two characters ever again. Yeah. Piece of the Utter Destruction says Crash 4 has fun levels, but they treat Crash like he's stupid and Coco is better than him. Tawna is mentally ill now. Fuck Activision. Thank you very much.
Mentally ill now?
Mentally ill. Anzac says, yo, but look at that avatar. It's awesome.
Is
Crazy
it attacking
Goat.
or scared? I can't tell.
I think he's scared. Crazy Goat says, check Grum's thread about devs behind Black Myth Wukong. SBI extortion. Yep, that sounds like a Monday thing. Sony says, these AAA companies are digging their own graves, and it's really sad because they used to produce some real quality games, and now, well, they had a choice between chicken and death, and they chose death.
I think with any of this, you just have to realize it may be the same company, it's not the same people. Those people all left or were forced out. They were all replaced by the new people that all are on side of this thing. Mm-hmm. This is literally the idea. The idea creates the people. And so if you want to get rid of the idea, you have to get rid of the people. There is no other choice. Yep. And these companies will keep losing money until they realize.
Joey, Bag of Donuts, says, glad to see the internet's favorite lesbian on today. Hail Disprove.
Chrissy Mayer has a lot to answer for, I tell you. She said it once on a stream and it just immediately stuck.
Demi says, the problem with the latest Doctor Who was that it was about a fat guy whining about pronouns. If it was stupid when Az did it, it's even dumber for Master. Thank you, Demi. And Demi comes back in and says, remember, kids, anti-fascist Action murdered frontrunners for Iron Front for being capitalists, which led to Hitler's rise in power. Thank you very much, Demi.
Mm-hmm. Comes from Germany, yeah.
Yep. Kratos says they should have used troop instead of brigade. Missed opportunity. Also, I guess making a U-turn to find gay people is like finding Neverland. Demi comes back and says, this looks like I need a be eaten levels of trolling. Lewis says, Black Myth Wukong is getting pressured by SBI for DEI money. They have refused. IGN made an article bashing the studio. Thank you, Lewis.
We have reached a point where if the journalists hate you, that's a good sign.
Yep.
Like, you actually... whenever you hear that these people hate someone, you have to think, well, why? Because they're probably on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Tech Support Gaming says, we're ending discrimination one street at a time. Yes!
Right.
I want to know how we're solving discrimination by encouraging people to leave.
Right?
Should be the other way around.
That's right. Make more U-turns. Join us.
Yes. Master Gawa says, Side Scrollers is the new man show. Thank you all.
Let's go, Master Gawa. And we also we don't have girls jumping on trampolines, but we do have
lots of trampoline.
But we do have boobies. There it is, right there.
Yay.
Thanks, Bert.
Gray Man says, Kyle's mom dictates the way of the world nowadays. Correct. Snapple Rai says, speaking of man show, we all see that show, Wander Shozen, back. Now that was a funny show. Thank you, Snapple Rai. One time at Bandcamp says, Jimmy Kimmel is lame. Yeah, they all are. Master Gawa says, reject modernity. Hold the line against feminism. Thank you very much.
It's a bit late for that. It won.
Yeah. Tater Pan says, huge Disproof fan here. E3 was a joke, a cult of lesbian space witches, and there wasn't even any implied scissoring. It was so disappointing.
They did have a trans YouTuber in it, though. I only found out that today.
They what?
Yeah, Philosophy Tube was in it.
Huh.
Oh yeah. You know, it's Dev filled me in on that.
Oh yeah. That Abby. No, you're right. I forgot. By the way,
in,
Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragon as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We looked it up last week? Yeah, Monday, whatever it was. Yeah. Or last Thursday. I don't remember. Anyway, my days are all gone. Or caught up on YouTube.
What was weird is I saw the Instagram post and it said it was so great to be this character to learn all about them and stuff. And then I thought back to the episode. I can't remember them saying anything.
They probably didn't speak.
No. Like, what was there to learn about the character? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Left Cross. I'm sorry. Sivert came in and says, I thought Blabs was a Pinecone DEI hire. This is accurate, 100%. Jared says, if there's a game you should check out, it's called Hypercharge Unbox, where you play as an action figure. Think of it as Toy Story meets Small Soldiers. Yeah, I've seen that. That game got passed around for sure. The Nest Track says, hello, everyone. Hope you all have a nice weekend. Thanks, Nest Track. And Left Cross came in and says, Windhorse, the guy, the ESPN guy, says, Windhorse access is forever granted. He's LeBron's buddy. The job security allowed him to call out a player the internet has already been turning against. And Random Nobody says, please watch Razorfist, the downfall of gaming journalism videos. Thank you, Random Nobody. Silver followed up, says, I wonder if Mr. Potter died of, quote, suddenly. And that's why he went off the road. I don't know. Dude says, Disparu, please start uploading your content on Rumble again. Your comedy is better than gold and deserves to be on more platforms.
The reason for that is they used to be synced, and then it broke, and now if I try and sync it, it doesn't work. That's why.
So do you know the reason behind that? YouTube actually removed. They stopped it.
Because I didn't know whether my account was broken or something. That's why I just keep assuming it'll get fixed at some point.
No,
they actually removed the feature. You have to manually upload to both platforms, which is what I do just because I feel like it's just a safe thing. I know my shit will never get deleted off of Rumble unless Rumble ceases to exist, whereas I know YouTube will be like, oh, I don't like this word you use. Bye. So I just
my issue now is that although I do have all the original files because I'm a data hoarder, I keep literally everything. Do I start from back then so I have a complete catalog, or just start from now, or start from like the Acolyte and Doctor Who or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Ask your chat what they want on Rumble.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. It takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. Saint came in and says DEI, drunk, enabling, and intoxication. Thanks, Saint. Lone Wolf says, was it the BlackRock CEO that said they were going to force behavior changes? Yes, it was. And Nestrack came in with a 10, says, I don't even want to pirate this shit. Talking about Activision. Dude says, I went on a spending spree on the Xbox 360 store since it was shutting down later this month. I have no desire to do the same in any console other than the PlayStation 3 or Vita. And Old School Gamer came in with the $20 Rumble rant, says, for the brochachos. Thanks, Old School Gamer. Appreciate you. Dude followed up, says, Disparu, if you want to change the pace of your content, use the anime Frieren as a slap in the face of Hollywood on how to do a strong female character.
It's a great show.
It is on my list to watch. At the moment, I'm finishing Attack on Titan, and I have to say, season 4 is a slog. I never thought it was that amazing to begin with, but I've decided to start again from the start. The first 3 are all right; they're decent, but I don't think they're amazing. And they got to 4. I can't stand this season. I don't know what it is. It just feels like a different show. But yeah, Frieren is
fantastic.
It's on the list.
CG Hero says, we just need to weather this woke storm until AI gets to the point where normal men can make games to compete with Hollywood and AAA. Then all these giant woke companies are finished. Dude says,
I think AI will help with that kind of stuff to enable smaller developers to do more stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Dude says, I do have a second account called The Dude 1286. So in Halo, it says that Dude 1286 killed you. Thank you, dude. Silver says, maybe a girl. Is that why the Bee is tough to do satire? So satire becomes reality within 6 months, if not shorter. Right. And Lone Wolf says, Disparu, stop trying to make sense from something that is complete nonsense. Well, welcome to the show.
It's an innate thing for me. I try and bring order to chaos. I've always thought everybody has a reason for doing something, whether they know what it is themselves or not is a different question. Because it requires expending energy, there is a reason. You've just got to work it out. And when you do, it's normally a lot worse.
90 Dragons came in with a $15 direct donation. Says, I could fill all the free time for the entire rest of my life with games that were made before 1999. I don't need to buy new games. I want to. I make a game I want and I'll buy it. No isms apply. 90 Dragons. Good stuff right there.
I could probably not buy another Steam game the rest of my life. Just go through my back catalog and never run out of stuff to play. The PC gamers especially are like this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Sunny came in and says, I think, go ahead, Blabs. You can read these off.
Sunny says, I'm totally thinking of becoming a games journalist. Gentleman Gaming News, Out of Office Broadcast, or GGN Noob as a short. At least it'd be actual journalism. Journalism? Journalism. A vote for Blabs is a vote for Booba. Yeah, where's that clip? Hang on real fast. We gotta, here it is. That's right. Go me. Oh, okay. Disper's never seen that one
before.
And then Mark of Reality says, what is stopping the true gaming talent that has been forced out with the DEI initiatives from starting new companies and competing against their old brands? Non-compete causes can be dealt with legally. Thank you very much, Mark of Reality.
It's possible, but games are very expensive. And there's a lot of people who just want a job. They want an easy life. They want to go to work. They want to do the time and they want to leave and be with their family and stuff. And it's an entirely different thing to set up a company and work for a company. And so you're going to have to reach a point where you piss off the people that want to do that. And then maybe it'll happen. Like, it's like Ripper. Not everyone wants to start their own comic book business. Even if, for whatever reason, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, for sure, for sure. People were saying that your clip was
yeah,
muted.
there was no audio. You guys heard it, right?
Let's try it again.
Vote for me is a vote for boobs.
There you go. All right. Do us a favor. Vote for us by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. You can vote for Disparu by finding his channel. Where you can find, I'll tell you what, man, I'll let you sell your channel real quick so we can tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, it's just Disparu on YouTube. If you want somebody that is basically looking at the entire entertainment industry burning and just takes the piss, it's basically me. It is British humor, laughing at everything that's failing, and desperately trying to work out why. There will be a video later today about The Acolyte. I do kind of two kinds of content. It is the reviews of stuff, which is basically laughing at the shows themselves, and then looking at the journalists and the articles, and either compiling them all to laugh at them or what on earth is happening. Like at the moment, it is literally the fallout and the cope of episode 3. That'll be the next video, because people come up with anything. There was literally a quote from a Forbes journalist, which is, in Star Wars, canon is just a suggestion. And I'm like, I'm sorry? That's like saying gravity is a suggestion. That, right. I can just drop this mouse and occasionally it might fly upwards if I decide it to. Like, no, that's not how history works. It's fixed. And they even at one point say that Darth Vader being Luke's father is a retcon. And by the time you've expanded the word to that definition, it's lost all meaning, which is what they always do. And so I look more at the tactics of things, and I think what I come to, spoiling the video, but what I come to in the conclusion in this is they get more enjoyment out of watching people be upset that what they love is being destroyed, that they just support the show. They don't get entertainment from the show because they know the show isn't good, but they enjoy other people suffering so much. That's where they get their rocks off, and that's where they desperately try and defend it, which is why they're always defending the indefensible, because it's the kind of people these people are.
Well, make sure you guys go subscribe to Disparu and find his channel, and we'll have a link in the description as well as the chat for you guys to find him over there. Phenomenal as always, buddy. I love your insight on everything. So thanks for coming on and joining us today. Appreciate it. Way to finish up the week. All right, guys. With that said, we'll see you guys on Monday when we're back at it again, 11 a.m. Central Time. You guys can find Blabs over on her channel. Link to that is down below as well. Appreciate you guys popping in and being a part of our life. What? Oh, look, there we are. We made it.
It's Snorlax.
Nice.
So, Disparu, Craig, Razor, and myself back there. And I think it's Melanie right here. Yeah, Melanie is right there too.
Nice. I got the fastest one, which I'm kind of pleased with.
There you go.
I've got the triangular body every man wants, just inverted.
There you go. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and have a safe weekend. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. See you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Fatality.